you think? Eamon, what kind of bits of this story, Tyson Fury being back in the gym, did you cover before I was belatedly added to the chat, or before I
No,
belatedly added myself?
it was just a case of we've been seeing these clips of the two of them on runs back with Isaac Lowe and in camp with Paris Fury in the guise of PT sessions. Maybe they are, but Tyson looks to be getting into some shape. He doesn't look like he's ballooned up in any way and having to take in some sort of like fat loss camp towards a fight. He looks in relatively good shape from what we've been able to see, and then he's punching the pads and stuff. It's all kind of ramping up little bits of momentum, and then you couple that in with seeing Anthony Joshua, who apparently can't punch, and we'll get to that in a second. And then he's also doing similar sort of things out in Africa, but I believe it is right now, and throwing shots and punches on pads and what have you. It seems like these two gentlemen are in a sort of pre-camp or even a pre-camp, whatever stage or status you want to put it as, but both are without fights, both looking for a big opportunity, and both would present themselves to each other as a big opportunity. So it makes a lot of sense.
Danny, I get a lot of insomnia. Jack Dutton on the 45. I think whoever wins AJ versus Fury would automatically get back into the elite. I agree. And would probably get a title fight in early 26, particularly if the belts get split up again. Yeah, 2 for 2 there, Jack Dutton. Danny Toward says, another Mayweather Pac-Man should have fought years ago and now both passed it. I should ask, is that the Dan Toward, Sam Jones's hot prospect? Hot in the, potential sense. Let us know. Porter says, hard to call a winner, though, to be honest. Zambanu Love again says, has Maurizio found out fighters are lying to WBC about purses? He tried exposing Bivol for turning down a career payday for Benavidez. Bitter over sanctioning fees, it seems. I think the sanctioning bodies as a whole are all going to be a bit concerned about their domination being eroded by the likes of Turki Al-Sheikh, Riyadh Season, and latterly TKO boxing as well. So I think this could just be the tip of the iceberg, and I don't think Maurizio would be the only one. Porter says, off subject, you see Paddy the Baddie fuck Chandler up. That knee to the face was brutal, split his cheek open. No, that's not my thing, MMA. Eamon, do you partake?
I did watch a caught up the highlights afterwards. You kind of wonder when the Paddy the Baddie train might slow down. We've seen his friend Molly McCann recently announced her retirement from the sport, but Paddy's continuing his keeping on, and he's since called out Conor McGregor for a fight at Wembley. But he looks good. A lot of people kind of see his demise coming and bet against him, but he seems to be throwing up jumping over all the hurdles. And right now, the UFC needs a star, and it could be Paddy the Baddie.
Is not Dan Toward, unfortunately. I should have known because it was Dan and Danny, but there you go. Eddie Hills says Usyk could beat Fury and AJ 3 times each, and the system would still want either as champion over Usyk. I don't think the system is one kind of coordinated body. Certainly not these days. I think there's a lot of varying aspects to it. But yeah, I understand what you're saying, that the other two are perhaps more marketable than Usyk, but he's got there on merit. Mark Turner said, I knew Tyson was training hard, running hard up them mountains in Lancashire. You don't run that hard for nothing. Go get them belts back. Yes, he defo is. Hard Jubilee Tower runs. Yeah, I mean, I don't pretend to know the local landscape, but Tyson Fury in his recent Instagram post has said he's training twice a day now. He was out running when he actually did the video. I can understand the point, but Tyson's often said as well that it's very, very important to his own mental health that he's regularly getting fit and doing training and so on. So it's not just about the boxing. I don't want us to be too cynical. I mean, I usually am, but maybe not this time. But yeah, maybe the whole retirement, as we speculated at the time, was just a deception, so that he would get offered more money for the AJ fight. But on the flip side of that, you've got to think that, and I'm not saying AJ's injury that he had that was reported isn't legitimate, but if AJ hasn't had a fight in the interim, as was being talked about, Martin Bacoli, Dillian White, and so on, maybe they believe that Tyson Fury, it's a mirage, that he is coming back, because they haven't stepped foot in the ring. And obviously, if AJ was to fight a lesser known opponent and lose, the Fury fight could be off the table, at least for this year. So it's an interesting one. But we're going to talk more about AJ's side of things in a few minutes. But Eamon, Tyson Fury, people have criticised him so much for not being honest about retirement pledges in the past. Not just for that, I should point out. How convinced have you been over the past couple of months since he made that statement that he was actually going to stay retired?
No, not at all. Not at all. This is a guy who, and every so often on my YouTube feed, I'll get recommended Tyson Fury videos and John Fury videos of the past, and I'll click on them, and you'll, I guess, maybe even the ratio is like 1 in 4 videos or something like that will be Tyson Fury speaking in a state of retirement at that point in time. It's just another old trick in the book. It's one of those tricks up the sleeve that Tyson's been able to pull, whether it be saying something ludicrous or outrageous to grab a headline and keep his name up in the headline so that he can sell or promote his fight, or whether it's a case of just withdrawing himself from the market so that the growth and the want to see him back grows. And then you miss me, I'm back. The comeback. You can always sell a comeback. You can't sell, or it's more difficult to sell another fight down the line. It's very much a chapter closed from the 2 Usyk fights, and then another chapter opening for the next round of fights. In that interview I saw, I believe it was an old IFL interview, and Tyson was saying that he wants to be beat. He wants to be beat so he can retire, because if he never got beat, then he feels like he would continue on forever. Well, I guess he has been beat, and I guess he says he's retired, but I don't know. That was an interview many moons ago. Those were comments from Fury that he said across loads of outlets many moons ago, and I think that Fury, who maybe did at one point want to retire after he did get beat, has seen the riches, seen the headlines, likes a bit of the. He is a man of the people, and I've seen it myself with my own eyes. He enjoys, of course, his own private life, but he also enjoys the adulation from the crowd and being amongst the people. And you close the curtain on that if you retire, especially with a big fight left to go. Whilst I'm not going to go into Ade Oladipo type plea, as he did do on the Helwani show for Fury to fight Anthony Joshua, I do feel it's one that does have to be ticked off, and the days keep going past and the days keep moving towards, as someone in the comments was saying, as it being a calm book type of scenario. It's not there by any means as of yet. By all means, neither are in their pomp, but still operating at a very higher level. Fury at a higher level than Joshua, I'd say right now, but it's a fight we still can get in some form of high level competition between the two of them. I do hope we see it by the end of the year, but Fury, no chance. No chances Fury retired.
Confuses me a little bit, because on the one hand, I never thought that he'd want to take the risk of losing to Joshua. And I think for the past few years, the times they've talked about the fight before, I felt that Fury had his measure and he'd go into the fight as a decent favourite. But since losing twice to Usyk, obviously he looks more fallible. Could he handle losing to Joshua, his big rival, the one he called, what was it, robotic bodybuilder or whatever I've paraphrased there, but whatever the quote was. He can handle losing to Usyk, who'd already beaten AJ twice and is widely recognised as the best heavyweight, maybe even the best pound-for-pound fighter on the planet. Could he handle losing to someone he derided so much in the past? Could his pride take it? But then the flip side of that is Fury loves money, as a lot of us do. And it's the biggest fight out there for him. It's a bigger fight than any of the ones he's already had, even though they're, coming off defeats. So, yeah, where does he fall in that dilemma that he's now got on his hands? The fact that he retired indicated that he didn't want to fight Joshua. He was happy retiring with that itch never being scratched. But now, a few months later, already back in the gym, and make sure people know he's back in the gym significantly. Not so sure. Mark Turner, he's got some more information about the runs. It says 450 meter high, 7 miles to top. So thanks, Mark. Tell us more. Beautiful Golden Dragon says, any news on the local legend Dez coming on your pod? I'm in awe of his extensive knowledge and sensitive nature. Feel he's being wasted among those reprobates on Boxing Asylum. Eamon, that'd be your plug.
Yeah, I mean, by all means, very much. But I haven't reached out to Des to ask him to come on. Doors always open, I think, me and Danny will have to decide. But we've had, was it Ramez Mahmood beforehand as well? Great to have more boxers as well, too. I think Des does have a bit of a background as well. But by all means, doors open for Des. I'll probably reach out maybe soon and we'll get him on as well. Maybe it's one of those things where we get people on a little bit more, Danny, and have a bit of a rotating third, potentially. What do you think about that? As long as I didn't mispronounce it rotating third, it'd be all right, right?
I mean, that's a possibility.